What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to episode 3 of our Road to Platinum series for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Like I said, this is episode 3, and so we are trucking along. I believe our record right now is 3-1, and so we're going to take a look at some other duels today. We do have 2 more for you. Before we go ahead and jump into the game, we do have a little bit of a longer, couple longer duels today, but it'll be nice to watch and get some analysis going. So one thing before we start, I do want to say thank you guys so much for the support. As always, it's so appreciated. It means the world to me, so thank you so much for chilling with me and everything like that. And I'm hoping we can learn together. I'm hoping we can just become better players together. So I'll mention my Twitch like I always do. My Twitch will be in the link in the description below if you do want to follow me. I do stream. Try to stream every day, but eventually we'll have a actual ironed out consistent schedule. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the games here. And like I said, we do have 2 duels. They are a little longer just because we are actually playing some okay decks. So let's go ahead and get started. So last time we had Gladiator Beast kind of squash us just because we opened up pretty bad. We still are playing Dark Magician here, and so we are just learning as we go. This is an okay hand. Dark Magical Circle is a good hand. In order to do anything with this, though, we do need a Magician's Rod, so we are going to be trying to grab Magician's Rod. We see they're playing Dangers. Right off the bat, I haven't messed with Dangers since Firewall was... that meta was rampant, and Danger Dark World was the FDK and everything like that. And so seeing a Danger card kind of freaks me out here. So I'm unsure what we're going to be running into here, and Dark Magician, like we said, it has been pretty consistent in our favor, but up against a big meta, not meta exactly, but a big deck like this, it's going to be a little rough. Now, we do Ash here. I'm going to acknowledge that is a terrible misplay, because I've learned that Danger Nessie is not once per turn, so that really doesn't do anything for us, because they are just able to activate another Danger card, and so don't really Ash Nessie unless they're very low on card resources. And so, yeah, that's basically our first big misplay of this duel, so we're not starting off super good. I'm realizing that they can activate Danger Nessie again, so why did I even do that? And so it is a once per turn, but they must have had something to go for it, so they are just playing Danger cards. We're not able to see that, unfortunately. Then we do see it as Chupacabra, so... of course, they will do Danger things. Danger is an archetype. It was TCG exclusive for the longest time, and whenever they came out, it really shook the meta. Dangers were huge, and then we do see the Graphis. So this is Danger Dark Worlds. Now, again, this is not Firewall Danger Dark World, so we don't have to really worry about a huge FTK going on, but we do just kind of have to watch them play Solitaire for a minute while we are thinking about our hand. So, going back to our hand, we do have Raigeki. Raigeki is a really good card. That's a power 1 of. If you don't have anything else to throw in your deck, you're playing a 39 card deck, throw in a Raigeki if it's not already in there. We do have Torrential, which does basically the same thing. And then we have Dark Magical Circle. But like I'm saying, we do need to we need to have the heart of the cards moment and play Dark Magical Circle and grab a Magician's Rod or draw one, or this duel is kind of over. But we can just kind of watch them go for their turns here. So Dangers are very good at swarming the board, and they have a ton of card advantage, and they discard a ton, which allows the Dark Worlds to really pop off here. So if you're looking for a fun deck to maybe play, and it kind of autopilots itself, I will say. But Danger Dark Worlds is one of those decks where you can kind of just have a good time with it. So yeah, just watching our opponent go in. They will. I believe they go into a Link 4 Link here. And I was so scared it was going to be Saryuja and then we're going to keep popping off, but it does turn out to be the Appaloosa. Appaloosa is a very good card. It negates monster effects. However, it only negates monster effects, and we have a very pretty looking Raigeki in our hand here. So we have Magician's Salvation. So we have the Eternal Soul. We have Dark Magic Circle, so we need to get a Magician's Rod here. Magician's Rod is definitely going to let us have a play, because right now we have nothing. This is a dead hand. We do get the Dark Magician, though. Dark Magician, grabbing the Dark Magician is okay here. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's okay, because we really don't have anything to do on this turn currently. And so we activate, we put Terraforming ahead of Soul Servant there, just because we don't really need it, and it doesn't really matter. So we will activate the Raigeki just to get 2 big monsters off their board, and nothing really happens after that. And so now card advantage is in our favor. We do set the Dark Magical Circle to try and play a bluff if we have another trap on the field or something like that. But right here, we have 2 interruptions. We have Torrential Tribute, and we have a Banish with Dark Magical Circle. So we're back to an even game state, and we have the advantage here. So we do see they summon Tour Guide from the Underworld. Tour Guide is rough, so we are going to Torrential that. However, I still believe the effect goes off. But it is not the end of the world if the effect does go off here. So it does go off, so they are going to get to summon something. A level 3 Fiend. Tour Guide is one of my favorite cards in the game. I love the art on it. And I'm honestly a little surprised at myself that I haven't built anything with it. So off their Tour Guide summon. So they've already used their normal summon for Tour Guide. We've stopped that. And now we are able to stop this Brow as well. And it is banished. It's not in the graveyard. So if you can banish a Dark World card, you want to. So that really puts our opponent into a little bit of a tight spot. They are going to try and activate Danger Bigfoot, and they are able to do that. That goes off without a hitch. So Danger Bigfoot does, in fact, beat our Dark Magician, but with Eternal Soul it will just recur itself, so there's really no urgency to it at all. And that was another Danger Dark World card that gets special summoned when it is discarded, and that's fine. And so really just kind of wondering where our opponent's going to go with this. Of course they do have the ability to just get over our card, so they will get Grapha. Grapha is a powerhouse card. When this card is discarded from your hand to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can look at a card in their hand, and if it's a monster, you can special summon it to your field, and they can also just pop the card. So we will take some damage here, but it is a-okay. Taking damage here is not the end of the world. Like I said in the last video, if like one of your plays gets stops, play it out. There's really no bad reason to play it out or anything like that. So we do activate our Dark Magical Circle here. We're gonna wait for Eternal Soul. We do have Soul Servant. I believe we go for that. It's a fairly good card. Soul Servant will work in our favor here, considering we could have a Dark Magician and we can draw. So we will go ahead and activate the Soul Servant. And we were gonna kind of look around. Secrets of Dark Magic has been clutching out a lot of games for us here. And so the deliberation, I feel, is in Magician's Navigation, and it's in the Secrets of Dark Magic. So Magician's Navigation would let us swarm the board on their turn, and we would get a banish for an interruption. And I think we are going to top deck the Magician's Navigation, which I feel is a smart play. Activating Eternal Soul here to get one of the banishes at least. Dark Magician from our grave. And I can't remember if we target the Grapha or the Bigfoot. Either one is good. Like I said, with Dark Worlds, you do want to banish them so they can't recur. And so, I believe we do end up targeting the Grapha. Only because we have the Magician's Navigation next turn. We can activate our Soul Servant to grab it, set it next turn, and so on the next turn, Bigfoot won't have any ability. We can just go ahead and banish it quickly. So all in all, a pretty solid first turn. Like I said, we're playing pretty slow, but this is what Dark Magician does. We have the Eternal Soul. We have the setup. This is the board you want every single duel. And if you can get this board, you're somewhat safe if they don't have a lot of outs to it. One big drawback of the deck is Eternal Soul. It's the lifeblood of the deck, but it's also a very big hindrance, which is the reason my budget deck profile kind of is a safer option, because Dark Magician the Dragon Knight protects. So he summons this card, Codebreaker 0 Day. I have never seen this card before in my life, so looking at it, all Link monsters pointing to this card lose 1,000 attack, except Codebreaker monsters. If a Codebreaker Link monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, while this card is on the field, destroy this card. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add another copy from the deck to the hand. He summons this card, and I have to say, it broke my brain. I had no idea why this card is... I don't know if this is part of an engine, or why he would summon it. But yeah, I assume he meant to summon it just because he can get over the Bigfoot and then attack with 1800, which is fine. But it also just threw me for a loop. It's not a bad card per se, but in the situation of this duel, I'm a little confused by it. So he'll enter battle phase where we will do our Magician's Navigation. And we'll be able to banish his Danger Bigfoot, the attacking monster. And we are also able to tutor out another spellcaster from the deck, and we choose Dark Magician Girl. She does get summoned. I believe that's her first summon of the Road to Platinum series. Alrighty. Going into end phase, it does switch to our turn, so there's a couple things we can do here, especially having Secret Village of the Spellcasters. That locks him out of a lot of plays here. His deck variant doesn't really run a ton of spells, but the spells he does have, he is going to be locked out of them. So going into the Ebon Illusion Magician, you've seen it before. We want all three of our Dark Magicians in play. So we'll activate Ebon Illusion Magician, activate Eternal Soul to get a banish, leaving him with an open field and our third Dark Magician on the field. Just let that play out. I get a little worried here that Dark Magical Circle won't activate, but we do get the effect here, so no big worries there. But that does leave him with an open field, and we have 4 very high powerful magicians on the field, and we're gonna take this game. GG's. Like I said, a little worried about a Danger Darkwold player, but we were able to actually secure it. So, very good play. That was a long duel. Like I said, these are going to be a little bit longer than usual, but we do have one other game to go through. So that leaves our record at 4-1. We're kind of trucking through. I believe we're Silver 3, Silver 2 at this point. So going through, let's take a look at our last duel of the day. And we will have, of course, other episodes this week as well. So this hand, it's pretty nice. We do top deck the Raigeki one more time. And so we're going to start things off as normal with Magician's Rod. Go into our Dark Magical Circle, waiting on opponent response. So opponent does have something he can chain to our effects. So be wary of that. It could be an Nibiru, it could be an Ash, it could be something like that. And so with Dark Magical Circle, we already have the board we need. We have Magician's Salvation. So we're going to go ahead and grab our Dark Magician, which pops off with Magician's Navigation. So right here, this was probably the best hand we could have gotten, just because we were able to set up all the cards we needed in the first turn, and we have an Ash, and we have a Raigeki. It's Chef's Kiss. It's Chef's Kiss beautiful. That is what you want to see. So waiting on info for our opponent. Waiting on info here. So my biggest thing with info is I love getting it. This is my favorite part of the duel, when we have a board set and we're just waiting for them to react and we get to see what they play. So here we see that they activate Sky Striker Mecha modules of multi-roll, or Fighting Sky Strikers. This is our first real kind of meta deck, I want to say. The Tri-Brigades, you could argue, but that was a Gladiator Beast engine. And so with Rhoda, we don't want them to get Ray or Rose. So we are definitely going to activate Ash Blossom, so they are not able to pop off in any way. Yeah, definitely don't want them to grab a Ray or a Rose. Sky Striker is one of those decks that runs very little monsters, and if you don't get to your pieces, you have to sit on your back row and hope that your toolbox deck really kind of plays you out of these situations. So if we can deny them their monsters, we can kind of play a field. So we're actually going to wait. We're not going to activate anything just yet, because we really don't need to. We do get a second Dark Magical Circle. We'll go ahead and activate it just to thin our deck out a little more. So waiting on opponent response here. So they still have something in their hand that they can really kind of use against us. And we'll get our second Dark Magician, which is actually super, super nice, considering we have Magician's Navigation and Eternal Soul. So we'll go ahead and activate Magician's Navigation. Still no response from the opponent on what they have. It could be... I'm not too sure. I'm honestly a little worried about Nibiru here. So I think I'm trying to limit my special summons. I don't want to special summon more than 3 times this turn. So we'll go ahead and get our second Dark Magician into play. And we'll banish multi-rolls here. And then I believe we don't activate, like I said, we're weary of the Nibiru, so we do not activate Eternal Soul. The last thing we want is this board, because this board is literally, like I've said before, this is literally our perfect board. We have everything we need to secure the victory, including Raigeki in hand. So going into main phase 2, we think about maybe Ebon Illusion Magician or something like that, but really nothing we really need to go into, considering we do just have a solid board here. Alright, Upstart Goblin. We'll take 1,000. Sure thing. Upstart Goblin is a very good card for both players, really. You do gain life points, which is also always fun. But life points are just really a resource in this current day and age of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not super important to have a surplus of them. But Upstart Goblin is very good in the Sky Striker deck just because it does get spells in the grave. So they have Area 0 here. Area 0 does let them have the ability to thin the deck if they have another set card. They have to select a card to activate multi-roll. Really, how they're going to be able to play out of our field at the moment, I am unsure, considering we still have a Banish Interruption, and they don't have 2 spells in the grave to activate the, they don't have 3 spells in the grave to activate more of their Sky Striker's effects. So here they go, they start thinning. We could have negated Area 0 here, but it's not too important. They do find their Ray. Finding their Ray is super good for them, considering, but we do also just have Raigeki, so anything they kind of make this turn is kind of forfeit. It doesn't really matter. They are able to find 3 spells in the grave, and they will start going into their plays. Sorry. So waiting on them to summon here, and we can activate our Eternal Soul for an interruption. Now, Sky Strikers do have the ability to, once their Link monsters leave the field, it does cause the Sky Striker Ace Ray to come back as just a. They just come back whether they leave the field or not, and so that does let them kind of continue Link summoning, but also it's not the end of the world if it's not a big deal with our field at least. Alrighty, we do get to banish our Hayate here. Or their Hayate, I apologize. They do get Ray back, which is just fine. So we are actually out of interruptions here, except for Magician's Navigation. Magician's Navigation does give us the ability to negate a spell or trap card. So just waiting on what they might go into here. They have a couple options. There's Shizuku they could search. So Kagari is at 1. They do decide to go into Kagari here. I personally would not have gone into that just because there's only 1 card they can grab, and that's not that good of a card. At least to waste a Kagari on. Ego Booster does make you immune to card effects and immune to battle damage. Pardon me, sorry. And so it does make you immune to battle damage and things like that. But really, looking down at our field, the Sky Striker player does have to activate a lot more cards to really put a dent in our defenses here. And they will go for Shark Cannon. So Shark Cannon, targets a monster in our graveyard, and they are able to banish it or special summon it to their side of the field, but we will negate that. We don't want them to have any kind of card on the field to try and go over us or anything like that. However, our negate was in vain. They do activate Widow Anchor, so they are able to steal our Magician's Rod, which is not the end of the world. Magician's Rod isn't able to get over Dark Magician or anything like that, but they are able to Link Summon. So Sky Striker Ace Zeke is a fairly big card. It's a very good card. They could go into that if they have it, and it does actually crash with our Dark Magician, so we're unable to get over it. So waiting on the opponent, trying to see what they are going into. Like I said, they do have the ability to go into Zeke. However, they settle with the Link 1. They do need cards, so they are going to play it safe and go with the Sky Striker Ace Shizuku. It's not a play I personally would have done. I would have tried to go into Zeke, banish one of my Dark Magicians, and then go into Shizuku, but it's fine. So Shizuku lets them search a card. Again, there's really nothing we can do about it. We don't have any negates for searching. And they add Hornet Drones, I believe. Yes, Hornet Drones. And then we get our Magician's Rod back. And they do surrender. Considering we do have the Raigeki in hand that we never got to use, that is the play to do. Just unfortunate they weren't able to play out of it, but that will be episode 3 of Road to Platinum. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've learned a little bit of the insight into the deck, as I know I've been learning a lot doing this series. Really becoming a better player, and it's really kind of opened my eyes to how good I can actually be, and I'm actually improving a lot, and it's really fun. So thanks guys so much for watching. As always, my links are in the description below if you want to follow my Twitch, my Twitter, my Instagram, everything like that. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, so if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You don't have to, but it always does leave me with a warm, fuzzy feeling inside when you do. So, thanks so much for watching. Bye.